Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Charles. Enjoy.
Today we've got a good one for you, but before we get into it, just a quick word from our sponsors, Dudex. So Dudex is a new cryptocurrency derivatives trading platform that aims to provide a fair and professional experience for its users. With third-party market makers and no exchange token or internal trading desks, Dudex creates transparency and puts the customers first. A couple of the features on Dudex include 100x leverage trading, perpetual swaps without expiry date and daily settlement, 100,000 TPS per contract, and most importantly, no KYC. That's right, every crypto trader's favorite words, no KYC. Sign up with the link in the description below to start trading today and receive up to $100 in free Bitcoin when you make your first deposit. Happy trading, guys. All right, let's get to the show. This is episode 49 of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast. As always, it's your host, Charles, and today we've got a great one for you. So today I'm going to be sitting down with Jon Moore, aka Johnny Litecoin. He's part of the Litecoin fam. And we're going to be talking about crypto payment processing. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how he got into the business, how your business can get set up to accept cryptocurrencies, and then some of the benefits your business will see once you start accepting cryptocurrencies. I don't want to go too deep into it right now, so let's just get into the episode and I'll have Jon explain everything. So Jon, before we really jump into the payment processing, can you just give us a little background on yourself and what you were doing before you found cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, sure. I was always in sales. So I originally, believe it or not, I was in the coffee business when I was younger. I sold to commercial type of accounts. And then right around when the Bitcoin white paper came out, I actually got involved in the payments business. Obviously, I didn't know anything about Bitcoin at the time, but I kind of started in the payments business January 2009. And by payments, I mean credit card processing and point of sale systems and cash registers. So I would set those up for businesses. And that was my experience before I got involved with crypto.
So sales, and then it's funny that the timing on that, right around 10 years ago, you got into the payments processing game. So you're doing credit cards and getting businesses set up with them, I'm assuming, with the machines so that they could process credit card payments. And then
Exactly.
Perfect. So it's kind of a perfect transition and to what you're doing now. So can you just give us a quick overview of when you got into crypto? And then after that, can you talk about how you got involved with the crypto payment processing?
Yeah, sure. So I'd heard about Bitcoin probably going back to 2012, 2013. And I heard about it more as an investment that people were making money, and kind of looked into buying it and never really it seemed complicated, so I never did. And but a few people kept mentioning it to me when I would see them. And it kind of went in one ear and out the other. I didn't pay any mind to it. But then in 2017, right before spring started, a few people really were talking to me a lot about it. And I had been in the credit card game for about 8 years. And I was really stressed from the credit card game. I really saw a lot of problems in the credit card system, and a lot of fraud that businesses were having. And I really questioned the regular payment space. Where does this all go? It didn't make sense to me, how there could be so much fraud and it's not being talked about, and how could this last, in other words. And a buddy of mine that was an investor in crypto, he's also in the payments business, was in my office, and it was a day that I was really stressed, and my friend had just lost $5,000. to a credit card fraud. And he was kind of blaming me because I'm the processor, even though I didn't obviously do it. I'm still the guy that he could kind of yell at and talk to, and really stressed. And my buddy kind of was like, "Hey, I want to show you a Litecoin transaction. Like, you need to see this. Like, this is the future of what we're gonna do." And we looked at it on like Block Cipher, like Block Explorer, and it was like $1,000 transaction that got sent across country. And I was like blown away at the information you could get and the transparency. And then he started really explaining about Bitcoin and how there's no central authority. And I was like, my God, I said, this is amazing. And I kind of ran around my office and I said, we're out of business, guys. We're going to be out of business. Like, everyone's like, what are you talking about, Johnny? And I was like, Bitcoin, Litecoin. I was like, this is the future. I was like, I get it now, right? And that was it, man. It was like, spring, like off to the races, like trying to learn everything I could. And I didn't get involved with payments of crypto until the beginning of 2018. It was really when a lot of people, like when the bear market started and people were really like trashing crypto and saying it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. And I was like, these people have no clue what they're talking about. Like, it hasn't even started yet. Like, they're building everything out. I was like, man, I really got to like get my message out there. Like, I understand this being a payments company. And that was it. I kind of started on Telegram, and because I had access to that from crypto. And then I kind of got involved with Litecoin specifically. And I was always a big Litecoin supporter. And I did help a few merchants set it up for payment in 2017, but I never like advertised it or marketed it. It was just like, hey, download this wallet, take a payment in, cash out their Coinbase kind of thing. And that was it, man. 2018, I was off to the races of really promoting that Litecoin is a really good alternative for payments, and not something that's going to work in the future. I mean, it's works right now for payments and can help people out right now. So that's kind of been my mission for the last like year and a half or so.
It's a pretty beautiful progression that you've had here, where you were working at a credit card payment processing company, helping people get set up, and you saw firsthand the problems that people were dealing with. You saw this fraud, you saw these third parties taking their cut out of the business's money. And the day that somebody was complaining to you about $5,000 in fraud, you have your buddy come in and say, hey, check out these cryptocurrencies, check out Bitcoin, check out Litecoin. And it kind of just clicked with you. And it's funny because you said you had heard about Bitcoin back in 2012 or so. And I think everyone has this story where they hear about it at first, and like you were saying, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. It doesn't really register. And then in, what was it, 2017, you're seeing these problems firsthand. And then someone comes back in and reinforces that, hey, remember Bitcoin, or have you heard about Bitcoin? And then so about half a year later, you really got involved with the payment processing, and you got involved with Litecoin and getting businesses set up to accept Litecoin. So can you just get into the weeds and talk about, say I have a business and I want to get set up, or you're trying to sell me on getting set up. Walk me through the process on how that works.
Okay, perfect. So really it's an easy thing to do. It's just the main thing you have to worry about is fitting it into the business's existing operation. So if you sell online, we need to know, okay, what kind of e-commerce platform do you use? Are you using Shopify? Are you using Wix? Are you using BigCommerce, Ecwid? Like, what are you using? And then there's certain products that integrate with those platforms. and then we can integrate everything in. The main question is, do you want to receive US dollar, or do you want to keep the crypto that you receive? And then based on that, a bit larger business isn't going to keep crypto right now. Like, I've set up some Ford dealerships, Bob Moore Subaru, exotic car rental places. So the larger scale businesses they're happy to accept crypto for payment as long as they can easily receive US dollar. And we set them up with a product through another payment processor. Their name is Alliant Payments, and they have an auto conversion product where Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum comes in one end, and out the back door goes a US dollar deposit into their bank account. So it's very easy to set that up. It works similar to like a credit card processing product that they use. So they don't have to we don't have to train all the employees on how to use a digital wallet and private keys and all that. It all depends on the business environment. Now, you might be a store and you say, Johnny, I want to take crypto payments in my business. Then now I got to worry about, okay, what point of sale system do you use? And I'll ask you when you ring up a customer for a credit card or cash, walk me through the process. And then you'll kind of talk to me about your existing system. Then I say, okay, based on what I'm hearing, here's going to be a very easy way to implement crypto payments in. And a lot of what we try to do is, if you look last night, I retweeted it this morning, a video about the Clover system and how to add a payment button in. So really, you want to be able to add a payment type into the merchant's point of sale system that signifies that they got a crypto payment. This way, at the end of the night, the reports match up. You can't, this goes for anything in payments. You can't expect a business to want to process a new payment form, or even credit card payments for that matter, unless it works with the existing systems that they have. Their employees need to go through the normal process and flow that they normally do. So that's really how we get it done as far as the behind the scenes stuff.
So there's a number of different businesses out there. We've got the brick and mortar, we've got the online businesses, like you were saying. And so it really depends on what kind of business you have. With the online stuff, you can get it set up. You need to figure out, how their site is set up, and that way you can figure out which type of integration is necessary.
Exactly.
And like you were saying, with the whole, you can either get cashed out or you can keep the crypto. I think that's huge, the fact that you are able to actually cash out immediately, because we are still in a very volatile market. And these bigger players, you're talking about a couple dealerships that are starting to accept crypto. There's no way they're going to want to keep Bitcoin or Ethereum when on any given day it can be up 5-10%. So you talked about Alliant Payments and how they can convert your crypto to cash, instantaneously. But I'm a little bit concerned there because, when we talk about accepting crypto and what crypto is used for, it's to kind of get rid of this third party. Like the credit card processors, there's problems with them because there's fraud. They take a cut, and then they can also freeze any sort of payments if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, sure.
So with Alliant Payments, doesn't this kind of just become that third party that can cause all those headaches for the business, or am I missing something here?
So here's the thing, right? Businesses want what's easy, and then if they want to receive US dollar, you have to involve a third party if they want to get US dollar. There's no way to go from Bitcoin to your bank account without going through some type of intermediary.
There we go. Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm a real true blue private key guy, do everything privately. But Here's the thing, right? We always got to remember something when you talk to businesses about crypto. We're really into it. They're not.
Yeah,
The use case for is they just want to get paid, right?
of course.
And we argue on Twitter about scaling, about this, Bitcoin maximalist. No, I like this coin, I like that coin. Go out and go walk down Main Street USA and say, hey, would you want to accept crypto for payments? And most likely the business is going to be like, well, I don't think anybody's going to want to pay me that way. And if you told them, no, we have customers that want to pay you that way, they'll be like, really, I can get business from this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. There's people that want to buy your product and pay with Litecoin, right? So that's the use case for a business. So for the payment processing end of it, I don't mind the intermediaries because they make everything easy. Businesses need everything easy. But as far as owning crypto, I don't have one dime on an exchange. I mean, I remove everything immediately. I don't trust any exchange as far as I could throw them. You got to hold your own private keys. If not, I'm in this school of thought that you should expect to lose all of your crypto. So personally, and what I promote for payments to the public is kind of like two different things.
That makes sense. Regardless of who you are, where you are, to cash out to a bank, you're going to need that third party. Like, for example, we go fiat or Bitcoin to fiat through, most of us, I'm assuming, go through Coinbase. That's a third party. So we're not there yet. But the fact that you are actually able to get businesses set up and you're kind of planting that seed of, cryptocurrency being used as a currency is, I think, what's most important here. And then that was with the online stuff. You also talked about the brick and mortar. And I really liked what you talked about when you said that no business is going to want to get this set up if it doesn't just integrate perfectly. And if they have to do any kind of, if there's any kind of learning that needs to be done, it's going to be tough for them to want to. Because they don't.
No one wants to learn.
Exactly.
Only crypto people.
Exactly. I don't think there's much benefit to it. But you talked about that Clover system, and if I heard it correctly, it's kind of a system that integrates, and then when they pay with crypto, it'll come up in their financial reporting. Is that correct?
Exactly. So it's not like, which actually makes it better. So when you do it in the Clover system, they don't scan the blockchain for anything, and they don't technically have any crypto integration. It's just that you can add payment types and payment buttons easily.
There we go.
So now for your reporting and your bookkeeping purposes and your inventory and your orders and your shipping, everything is business as usual, and it records that a payment was received and it was Litecoin, it was Bitcoin. It's just not, you have to validate it on your own kind of. So usually what we do is we give the business like a little sign, and we just say, hey, post your QR code on the sign. And then they just keep like an iPad like under the counter, and somebody sends payment to the sign, and then they just verify on the iPad real quick, like usually through Coinomi app or Exodus. Oh, yeah, payments received. Awesome, you're good to go. So it's very easy to do because, if you're giving them cash, they got to count cash, give you change. So it's a very it's a smooth process. And again, the key is that it closes out the sale in that system. Now, what ends up happening is a lot of these businesses, they don't know anything about crypto. And I talk to them, right? And then they follow me on Twitter, maybe. They follow me on Instagram. They start hearing me talk. Then they're like, they'll ask me, they're like, do you have any of this Litecoin or Bitcoin stuff? And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, I got my money out of the banks. I don't trust the banks. And then they're like, this is the payments guy telling us he has all his money out of the banks because he doesn't trust them, and he has this stuff. And then what ends up happening is people want to buy it on their own. But, if it's a business with partners, it's hard for them to keep the crypto because, like, which partner keeps it? One partner doesn't want crypto, one does. But a lot of these people just end up buying it on their own. So it's like, I always say, if people see crypto for payments first, they get it. Like learning about crypto as a investment is the wrong way to learn about it. Like, if you understand it for payments, you get it. And the example I love to use is my uncle. He's a degenerate gambler. He's in his 70s, right? So last summer I was hanging out with him, and loves to gamble. So to bond, I was putting some money down on some bets. And he has he goes into a gambling site and bets, and they accepted Bitcoin and Litecoin for payment. So I said to him, shit, instead of just giving you cash, now we can't get it into your gambling app, I'll just send Litecoin right over to your app. He's like, what do you mean? How? He's like, it's not my, that's not my Litecoin account. I said, it doesn't work that way. Watch this. I just pulled out my phone and I scanned his phone where it was the deposit section. And, a couple minutes later, it was credited to his balance. He was blown away because he said, oh my God, he goes, he has to wait so long to get money into this gambling app. He has to wire money in, or if he uses a credit card, it's faster, but then the credit card company flags it and sometimes shuts him down. And then the gambling app charges him a surcharge for using the credit card. So by the third time because I'm not a good gambler, so I was losing. I would send him more money to the app. And by the third time I did this, he goes, man, Johnny, he goes, I want to buy me some of this Bitcoin and Litecoin stuff. He goes, this stuff works really good. So I said, well, tell me what you think of it. He goes, well, I kind of always thought it was like gold. He goes, now I realize it's really so much more efficient. And he was really blown away by it. So my thing is, show people a transaction first. And I'm a big I hate getting somebody's into Coinbase as their first experience. I like them to see a non-custodial wallet, a Loaf wallet, Coinomi, Trust wallet, Exodus wallet, anything that gives them seed words. Then it clicks in their mind. They're like, wait a minute, you just sent me $1 and I received it, but this thing didn't ask me who I am or whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, it doesn't need to know. I'm like, you're those 12 words right there. I'm like, and I read them the riot act. I give them like a Scarface style threat. I'm like, sit down for a second. I'm like, don't you lose these seed words. I'm like, you're gonna lose all your money. So yeah, man, that's that's how I think people should get into crypto.
Yeah. It's I think getting to use it firsthand really shows you the value of it. And I think that more than anybody, because you're working with these businesses who are accepting it, you're getting them set up with it. And then you're seeing that, okay, it's not just a business transaction anymore. These people who run these businesses are like, I need to own some of this because I see the value in it. But touching back on, what you were saying about the integration with payments for brick and mortar and it getting set up and just entered into the financial statements and the monthly reporting, et cetera, I feel like not enough people really think about the behind the scenes transactions there, with the fact that we see these videos of people paying with crypto online and we're thinking, okay, it's just money from one person to another. But for these people who run these businesses, they've got, thousands and thousands of transactions a day, a week, a month, whatever it is, depending on how much business they're doing. So they can't just be like, oh yeah, I accepted Litecoin on this day at this time. If we
right,
because we think of people like on Twitter who are, selling their merch or something, and it's a couple transactions here and there, maybe one or two a week, and it's really easy to keep track of. But for these bigger businesses that are really doing volume, we need that, setup where it can get entered into their financial reporting. So I think when people are trying to push and spread adoption, they really need to think about the backside of things, with regards to business at least. And then you talked about you're
100%.
And then, with like personal adoption.
The problem is, one of the problems is, Charles, like, people like, all right, so there's a lot of like libertarians in crypto, which I am, big libertarian, right? So most libertarians are like against like income tax and stuff, right? Which, I think it's unfair. However, I'm not going to break the law and go to jail. And I'm not going to promote people, hey man, risk your business, risk everything, and don't pay your taxes. So a lot of times people talk too idealistic when they go about adoption, and you have to just be more relative to the business. And then if you're kind of talking offline to the store owner, you could be like, hey man, we're hoping to change the system, small government. We're hoping this is going to lead to lower taxes and all this stuff. And, but it's, you got to walk before you can run. I mean, we're not going to end, we're not going to all of a sudden create a small government overnight. I mean, this is the most massive entity and institution in the world. I mean, it's going to take a while to unravel this whole thing. So I think people just need to be more like, they need to think more in the shoes of the business rather than their own agenda.
I think people get a little bit too caught up in the hype at times. Like you were saying, we're trying to kind of unravel this institution that our country is founded on, and that doesn't happen overnight. So I appreciate that you're very level-headed and reasonable about this, and your main message is just get in there, talk to business owners, get them set up with it, let them see the value of it, and slowly but surely these changes will be made. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you kind of walking us through your process when trying to get a business set up. Let's flip it for a second. Say I own a business and it's a brick and mortar, right? And I want to get set up to integrate crypto payments into my business. How do I reach out? Like, do I just hop online and call somebody up? I'm sure there are people like you all around the country, but what's the easiest way for me to do that as a business owner?
Well, it's not that easy because not a lot of payment processors like me are given any type of crypto support. And if they are, they're only going to offer their product. In other words, like, so if they came out with a product, they'll say, hey, we'll offer this product. Me, I do it at the network level. I offer any product for Litecoin. I don't care if it's one I'm getting paid for or not. I'll help somebody out with a free app and give them a few bucks and drive there to help them. So it's like, people be like, well, that's crazy. You lost money, but it's not, for me, it's not, it's about a greater mission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, and then I try to become the regular payments guy. Like I tell people, like, look, if you trusted me for doing your crypto payments, maybe you want to use me for your credit card payments down the line. And a lot of those people say, yeah, sure, I should use you. You're like an honest guy. You came to help me for free. Like I haven't talked to the other processor in years, So I get business in my regular world from it. But as far as reaching out to me, I mean, they can email me, they can call me, or they can DM me on Twitter. Those are usually the three easiest ways.
Perfect. And we'll have all of that in the description. So if there's anyone out there who's listening who's like, I want to get set up and I want to accept crypto as one of my forms of payment, you can get a hold of Jon, again, through email, call, DM. So we'll get that all set up. So I really appreciate you, extending that offer to anyone who's listening. So we've talked about.
And real quick, my Twitter DM is always open. I don't block it, so even if we're not following each other, you can shoot me a DM, and I do that just because I want to give support for crypto payments. So anytime, any question, if I'm sleeping, I'll get back to you when I'm when I'm awake.
There we go. Okay, yeah. So you're available. Say because I'm out in California. I if I remember correctly, you're out on the East Coast. Is that right?
Yep, I'm in Jersey.
There we go. So say they wanted somebody local. Are there any sort of businesses that do this, that set up the crypto integration?
I mean, I operate all over the U.S. And I do have people that help me out from the Litecoin community all over the country. So yeah, we can always get somebody local there. Usually, especially in like a busier state like California. I mean, if you're in like Idaho or something, I might say, I don't know if we have somebody in Idaho, but Cali, sure, yeah, I can get somebody local there. And I'm kind of in the process of training a lot of people from the Litecoin community about the regular system. So they know about crypto and Litecoin and Bitcoin, but now I'm kind of training them about the Clover system and what to look out for. So that way I really want to marry the two things together, because especially if we can help businesses with their existing systems, now we're adding like real value to their operation, and then they're going to be like, we'll start having a demand for people that want to accept crypto, because they're like, hey, these crypto people actually help us out with other parts of our business where the regular credit card people take our money and run and then sue us and try to get away from them. So like, I want to put that vibe out there, and I think we can really beat the banks as far as the merchant payment adoption stuff goes, because their service sucks. It's horrible. They sell you something and they're out like a thief in the night. So I think we can rise up as crypto community, and if we're actually the ones giving better support than the banks are for their own product,
yeah,
we're kind of going to better something.
I was just going to say, I feel like you guys are very passionate about it, so you want to be there, you want to be hands-on, and you get that kind of customer service that you don't get from the banks and the payment processors, the traditional payment processors, I should say.
Exactly.
So I think what you guys are doing is beautiful. Just before we kind of move on, what do you think of these things like Coinbase Commerce and BitPay?
So Coinbase Commerce is great because it's a non-custodial gateway. You get seed words.
There we go.
Completely different than the regular Coinbase. You actually plug those seed words in, and you make a wallet with them. So you get payments in on Coinbase Commerce, and they're available like in like a Jax wallet or something like that. So Coinbase Commerce is people in crypto, the diehards should love that product, because again, you hold the private keys. Coinbase can't even stop a transaction in that. They can't do shit.
So that's
BitPay,
pretty ideal.
Yeah, it is pretty ideal. BitPay I do not like at all. Let me explain why.
Okay.
I feel like are kind of toxic for adoption, because they only allow payments to come in from certain wallets. So you can't you can't pay for something if BitPay is the integration from Exodus wallet, from Trust wallet, from Jax wallet, from your Ledger. I mean, you just can't do it. The only wallet I have 15 mobile wallets on my phone for crypto, right? And the only one I could use for BitPay is Bread. It's the only one that works. I really don't like BitPay at all. And the product that I have with Alliant Payments does everything BitPay does, but more. And we could do we could clear the transactions at a lower margin. So we can, offer the merchant Litecoin support as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum, and do it for under 1%, where BitPay charges a flat 1%. And Alliant in general, if you set up a merchant account with them, because they're a regular payment processor, they will clear the crypto transactions for free, charge you nothing. So, I mean, we totally, with that product, can blow away BitPay. So yeah, BitPay I don't like, but they're out there. They're integrated into a lot of stuff. So I can't knock them completely, because they have pushed the ball forward as far as getting a lot of places on board to accept Bitcoin, at least.
There we go. Okay, so you're kind of, I wouldn't say neutral, but you see the benefits that they are providing, as well as some of the downfalls. And before we move on, you talked about these fees that are getting charged, this 1%, this under 1%. And I don't know if everyone realizes this, but like when you go and pay with your credit card at the gas station, the credit card processing company is taking a fee of that purchase. And I feel like so few people realize that when they're going in to pay, that when they hear it with crypto, they're like, oh, someone's taking a little fee. Like, I don't like that. I should just be able to send wallet to wallet. They don't realize the alternative, which is, I could be wrong in my number, but isn't it anywhere from like 3 to 5% or something like that?
Anywhere from 2 to 10%.
2 to 10, Jesus. Okay, wow.
Depending on the now here's something that you have to keep in mind. Not every business can just open up a merchant account and start processing credit cards. There's some industries that they deem high risk, and they really get picked on by banks and merchant processors, and they have to fund what they call a cash reserve, which what the cash reserve is the processor says, okay, we'll set up your merchant account. You need to give us $500,000 up front to hold an escrow.
Jesus.
For the duration of your merchant account. And then they hold it for a 6-month window after you cancel. So this is kind of what I feel is there's a war against small business going on right now. And things like this are a part of it. And like we see it right now in the CBD industry. The banks are letting big companies like CVS and Walgreens and grocery stores, and they can sell CBD no problem. But they're shutting down and holding money on the little independent operators. So, there is a major war against small business. They want everybody kind of getting a W-2, everybody as a W-2 employee, and in that kind of trapped in that system. And when people are kind of an entrepreneur, have a small business, they're really stacking the cards against those people with all the excessive regulations and compliance. And, compliance is it's such a bad term. It's designed to trick us. And the regulators put this term out there and say, oh, your regulatory compliance, even in payments, you got to be PCI compliant. And it's just a way for them to fool you and manipulate you and be able to layer stuff deep and charge you more fees. Is really what it gets down to. So, yeah, sorry to go on a rant. But
No, I don't mind it at all.
There's major credit card fees that the retailer pays when you swipe a card at that business.
I mean, my main point here was that we are going to have some issues setting up crypto payment processing and getting businesses to accept crypto. And there's always going to be a better way to do it, or there's, people are going to think there's a better way to do it. But I just want people to understand that the old system that we were using, that we're trying to phase out, is just miles behind what crypto is and what accepting cryptocurrencies is. So I don't want people to get caught up on these little, they charge 1%, because if you look at the old system, it's 2 to 10%.
Yeah, and it's just that it changes the dynamic of the payment. In the old system, the person receiving the payment pays all the fees and takes all the risk. In the new cryptographic system, the person sending the money takes all the risk and pays the fees. So it flip-flop things.
Yeah.
And I love it because I always fought for the rights of the business.
Yeah,
in the old system. The old system is totally stacked against the business. So I like the new system, how it changes the dynamic. And let me tell your audience this, because this is really like important to understand. The old legacy financial system is an honor system. And the crypto system is based on mathematics. So going forward to a more digital economy and digital transactions and non-face-to-face stuff where you're sending money across the globe, you think a honor system is going to work, or a system that validates based on mathematics? I mean, I always tell people I know what I would put my money on for the long run.
100%.
But that's kind of note.
No, I completely agree. And I've got a smile on my face just thinking about this vision of the future and your vision of this future, this financial future. So can you just talk to us about, what you've got going on in the next 12 or so months, what you're most excited for?
I'm still going to be doing the same stuff I've been doing, helping give this payment support to businesses. I'm really ramping it up with the regular legacy systems as far as getting stuff to work with those. So I'm excited we're bringing on some businesses that are doing online ordering, like for food. And we're going to be able to let people pay with Litecoin or other cryptos. And on the business's end, the orders are all going to fire right into their point of sale system. It makes it really seamless for them. And I really want to target this near colleges because I feel like that's our opportunity. And they're teaching blockchain and crypto at colleges. It's kids can take this as a course. So if you're like a pizza shop near a big college, why not announce to the student, to the student body, hey, we accept cryptocurrencies. We're embracing blockchain technology, right? Even if these kids don't pay with crypto at first, they're going to remember your business because they're going to be like, we're learning about that in school. Cool. This, Joey's Pizza accepts Litecoin for payment. Awesome. So that's kind of the stuff I'm excited about. And there's a lot of other people working behind the scenes. Keep an eye on what Jon Kim is doing. He's working with a lot of the big companies and stuff. And as far as getting Litecoin integrated into what they're doing and different apps and all that. So a lot of good things are going to come in the next 12 to 18 months. I can tell everybody that.
Yeah, you're planting those seeds now, and you're going to continue to plant those seeds, talking about getting the small businesses surrounding colleges set up, just getting more small businesses interested, talking to more people. And then you talked about Jon Kim, who's doing it on a bit of a larger scale. But I think what you're doing is really, getting down to the roots, talking to people, getting them set up, planting that crypto seed in their mind. And then after getting them set up with it, you can talk to them and, they're like, oh, I kind of want to own some of this. So I really like everything that you're doing. And I put that kind of poorly, but I just want to say that, I really appreciate what you guys are doing, you especially. So we've talked about a whole lot of stuff today. We talked about your background, how businesses can get set up, your kind of vision for the financial future, and what you plan on doing in the next 12 months. So before we end, can you just give us your biggest strategy or your biggest tip on spreading adoption? I know we've talked about it a lot, but let's just go your biggest one. And then can you also just give us one reason why you think every business should be accepting cryptocurrencies right now?
Okay, I want everybody to focus on businesses that sell online. And a lot of these are storefronts, but they also have an online site that they're trying to build up and sell through. Businesses struggle just to get one order in from their website. And now if we enable crypto payments, people like me and other people that are excited about this will tweet this out to their following. YouTubers might talk about it. You're going to get so much web traffic that you never received. That's real value. Businesses pay for SEO and to get noticed online and to get social media followers and all that. So that's our real strength. And the other reason is because online payments have more risk. They have more fraud that occurs. So the fees are higher that they pay. So really with like a good crypto like Litecoin, that's pretty cheap to send and very liquid and easy to convert into US dollar. It provides such an advantage for them because now they can transact without fraud and they can get the word out about their site. And we will send them some business from the crypto community. I mean, there's people that are ready to spend their crypto, especially when it goes up in price and they're making money. So that's my tip to everybody. Focus on businesses that sell online.
There we go. So that's kind of the perfect way to spread adoption is you focus on them, you find them, and then there's people like us who are just so excited about this stuff that we're going to want to share it. We're going to want to get them set up. We're going to want to buy their products because they do accept crypto. So I think it's a win-win for everybody there. I think that's the perfect tip, and that's all we really need to say on that. I did want to ask one last thing before we go, because you're a payments guy. You understand how easy it is, and you understand some of the benefits. So what do you think of these guys in crypto who are selling courses or books or merch or anything who aren't accepting crypto? Because I can think of a few off the top of my head who do this. And I think it's pretty lame that they're selling you a book or a course or a whatever on crypto, the importance of crypto, and they're not accepting it. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how you can tell if somebody's true blue and really about this. They say like on the streets, are you about this life kind of thing. But that applies here. I mean, are you about this crypto thing or not? I mean, and if you don't accept it for payment and you're out selling a course about cryptocurrency or a book or merchandise, what are you doing? I mean, it's so easy you have no excuse. And so I think it's sad because all they need to do is one DM to me and I'll have them set up in a New York City second and probably buy their product. I'll probably be one of the first people that buys it, pays with Litecoin, and then tweets a video about it. So, I mean, it's they're really missing the boat and they're not doing any. You could tell those people are kind of just in it to make fiat profit. And I'm all about people making money, you know what I mean? But you got to at least be real with what you're doing and be official, So that's just, look, in life, there's a lot of people that are fake. And that's kind of an example in crypto about, hey, these people are fake. They're not real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to hear it from your mouth because you're the processing guy. You're the payments guy. You understand how easy it is. For someone like me, it's like, okay, I don't really know exactly what goes into it, so I can kind of be like, oh, I understand that they're not accepting it. It's hard to get set up, et cetera, et cetera. But you're here telling us that, it's easy, it's simple. They can DM you and get it set up in, very little time. So there really is no excuse. And I think that's a perfect way to kind of end this interview. So, Johnny, I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you walking us through all of that. Sorry that, the interview got pushed back a little bit. Everything in my life's a mess right now. But, again, I really appreciate it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, man, thanks for having me on. And anytime if you want to have me back on and do a follow-up down the line, by all means, man. I'm always happy to spread the word. And DM me if you have anybody that's you want me to twist their arm to accept crypto payments.
Perfect. Well, no, that's the thing. This show is Crypto Entrepreneurs. So I've talked to 40-plus business owners who in some way, shape, or form have set up a business involving crypto. There's some episodes that don't involve any kind of business and are more just general topics. But I've got a laundry list of people that I'm going to start talking to. And anyone else who comes on after you, I'm going to send them your way if they're not already accepting crypto.
Sweet, man. I love it. Just keep me in the loop, and I'm always down to help out.
Perfect. All right, guys, that wraps up another episode of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. The show's for you guys. I make it for you guys, and it wouldn't happen without you guys. So I really do want to thank you for that. And if you found anything in this episode helpful or any of the previous episodes that I've put out, can you just do me a huge favor and leave us a review? It would really help us out. And then on top of that, could you also share it with any friends, family, anyone on social media? If there's something that spoke to you in any of these episodes, I would really appreciate it if you could do that for us. So thanks again for listening, and hope to see you next episode.